All right, Shalom Aleichem. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rachah, Kodash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I'd like to say Shalom to the elect that sees word in our true faith and sincerity. And today I just want to title this lesson, A Time of Terror. And that's the time that we're in. Pretty much the time where the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, is going to pour forth his judgment, man. You know, we're in that time that you ain't gonna be able to pretty much compare, with any other time in history, man. Matter of fact, let's just start off with that because it tells you in the book of Jeremiah 16th chapter, Yahweh Shema Shai is gonna pretty much outdo himself from what he have done in Egypt, man. So how much more in this time where pride is at its height, rebellion, witchcraft, just wickedness overall is at its height, of its highest degree, man. So of course the Lord gonna throw the kitchen sink at this place, man. You know? So let's start out with this in the book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse 1. And it reads, And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. So that just shows how bad it's gonna get. It's gonna have to take divine intervention to be preserved. Even the archangel Michael will be involved, you know, heavily in this time, man. It's going to have to take divine intervention for what's about to take place upon the planet Earth. The devil's coming down with great wrath. This man, the so-called white man Esau, Edom, his blessing is the sword, man. You know, so this devil, with his technology, is going to have to take divine intervention because it's going to get that bad with this concerning this famine that's about to take place. The beasts of the earth. Concerning the beasts of the field, and that's even including the newly created beast, which is going to be pretty much, we're going to see those things, especially here in America, man. And a plethora of other things is going to cause distress and anguish, and it's not going to be no carnal outlet, man. Our help is going to come from on high. It tells you in the book of Second Esdras, I believe like that's the 16th chapter, it tells you sorrow is going to be upon it every side, so it's not going to be no carnal outlet. The help is going to have to come from on high, So it says, and there shall be a time of trouble. So it's an appointed time where trouble will take place upon the planet Earth. And we're in the beginning stages of it, man. You can't say that we ain't in the beginning of these evils, man. Because just looking at the current state, the things that's taking place upon the planet Earth, there's nothing good that's going to come from these events that's happening. You got different economic structures failing. You got a great famine that's growing, sedition among men. And a plethora of other things, man, that contributes to the downfall of an empire, man. That's what we in right now. Oh, matter of fact, let's get some real quick. Because it says it's going to be a time of trouble. We in that time just by seeing these events, measuring the time diligently by what was spoken in the scriptures. And this is the appointed time where these things are going to take place. So this is the book of Ezekiel 7 in verse 5. It says, Thus said the Lord, power and evil, and only evil, behold, is come. See, so this is how by Shema Shai decreeing evil to come upon this place. The Lord have decreed evil to come upon this system, man. This devil and his rulership, man. See, this is where that kingdom. This is that kingdom the Lord was talking about. That power structure, that system. While Lord Yahweh Shai is going to make his return, man. And the build up to that return was going to be about a plethora of plagues and pestilence that's going to actually lead to that perfect day, man. But the key word in it says behold, because meaning is you gonna be able to see it now. See, it's all them days over and done with. We just you teach it, and then all they do is just go on faith. And there's a point in time where people had a leg to stand on, so to speak. Well, concerning when we talk about martial law, talks about the famine, the money crashing, especially back then, apostles, elders speaking on these things, and the people had a leg to stand on because it wasn't like you get an article every other day concerning those things, or a news clip or an interview. Now, the very same things that we're preaching about prophesying is in the news. It's an article. It's a documentary. It's an interview concerning really the what the scripture's been saying, man. Such as the famine, such as that thing, which is that's the next major prophecy that's about to take place, man. The mandate of that thing, man. The thing. You know? But he said, behold, is come. So meaning what we seeing it now. That seed have shown itself. Is beginning. What the scripture says, before it spring forth, I tell you of them. So now we seeing the maturation of the chip coming forth. We seeing the famine is being ripened now. Sedition among men, World War III. Because now this is the only time where this is the time where the scripture is making sense now, man. So that just proves that this is the point in time these things are going to take place. It says an end is come. The end is come, and that's concerning the end of this world, this system, this age. See, we seeing the downfall. We're witnessing the downfall of this man, the so-called white man, the Edomites, and his reign of terror. The end is come. It said, it watcheth for thee. Behold, it is come. See, so really the end is waiting on these people, man. It's an appointed date. The Lord got it circled on the spiritual calendar where the money going to actually crash, man. It's an appointed day where, martial law is going to be declared. Where that thing is going to be mandated. It's a certain day where it's going to take place, man. It tells you that in the book of Ecclesiastes, the 33rd chapter, the Lord have appointed, he have made high days sanctified. Matter of fact, let's just get it real quick. Just to prove that the Lord, it's nothing random with Yahweh Shai. For an example, the Passover. That was already part of the script before the foundation of the earth was created. But on that day, that's a minute, the power of the Lord, man. Once it manifested, Sodom and Gomorrah. It was a certain day that was going to go down. It was already written, before the foundation of the world. So how much more America, the most famous place in the scripture, let the elder brother Al-Ram say. This is what was going to be set up when our Lord Yahweh Shai returns, man. So you don't think this was the climax of this, man? So let's get this real quick. The book of Ecclesiastes, Surah 33, and verse 7. I started verse 7. It said, why doth one day excel another, when as all the light of every day in the years of the sun? It says, by the knowledge of the Lord they were distinguished, and he altered seasons and feasts. See, so every day is not the same day, man. Even though the sun rises, it's a different day, man. And it says, by the knowledge of the Lord, those days were distinguished by the concerning certain seasons and certain feasts. It says some of them have he made high days and hallowed them. And just going back to the concerning the Passover, the Lord have made that a high day. He have hallowed that day. That's a high holy day. Just bringing that as an example, you know. But also, there's a day the Lord had pointed 70 A.D. That was one of the days the Lord uh, had for Himself, man. That wasn't no order. Matter of fact, it says and some of them have He made ordinary days. See, so you just have a so-called regular day, but you have some certain days that sticks out, such as 70 A.D. You know, concerning that time, you know, the transatlantic slave trade. Lord, that stuck out, man. You know, so when martial law take place, it's a certain day that's going to happen. It's a certain day that's going to actually manifest. When the mind crashes, it's a certain day that's going to manifest concerning the mandate of that thing. It's going to manifest. Oh, even when you read Revelation the 9th chapter, it tells you. Matter of fact, let's just get it. Let's just get it real quick. Because this is going to be the climax to the terror. Those missiles, man. You know? But what's so bad about the time period, you got to make it to that, just even to that point. Because we coming to a heavy time, man. Very monumental moment in history. You know, what's going to be talked about forever, man. You know? So this is the book of Revelation 9, verse 15. It says, and the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay the third part of men. See, so as you can see, it's an appointed time. It's a certain day the Lord have, you know, got circled, like I said, on the spiritual calendar where America is going to be destroyed. Where the so-called white man is going to be overthrown. You know? But it's like it's just going back to Ezekiel the 7th chapter, tells the end watch for thee. You know? These people are going to walk into that snare. Just by the way of prophecy. Because prophecy and time goes hand in hand. It's going to come into its perfection, man. You know? But the point is we in that time of terror. So just going back to Daniel chapter 12. Daniel chapter 12, verse 1, it reads, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, with standard for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, see, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. Like I mentioned, 70 AD. You know, that's going to pale in comparison to what's going to happen in this time. You know, the transatlantic slave trade. You know, these you can read about these certain famines that took place, historical events. It's not going to compare to what the Lord is going to do in this time. Like I quoted in Jeremiah 16. Matter of fact, let's just get that. Because the Lord is going to outdo Himself, like I said, concerning what He have done in the land of Egypt. Which when the Lord got through that place, man, everybody knew about that. They knew Yahweh Shai. You know. So how much more in this time? Where you got cameras and shit everywhere. You know. Everybody gonna see the destruction of America. Tells you that pretty much he's gonna be a reproach for men in the sight of men, pretty much roughly paraphrasing. You can read it in the book of Judith concerning that counselor having talking to the king concerning don't touch those ones that have righteousness within that nation, because the Lord will defend them and you will be a reproach before the nations. And that's gonna actually happen with America. You know? So this is the book of Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 14. It reads, therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. And we seeing that, you know, on a small scale today. concerning, these certain scholars, they might touch on what happened in Egypt, the different plagues of Egypt. Nigga might come up with a scientific explanation why the frogs came or the locusts. Somehow this nigga broke down the hell with fire. I mean, but they always don't acknowledge who did it to Egypt, man. They might go into the plagues, but they don't go into who sent the plagues, man. And that's why you have the prophets today to declare this thing. It's Yahweh Shema Shai that's gonna do this, man. It says, but the Lord liveth, they brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north. See, so that just shows, like, when the smoke clear and the dust settle, man. Before you say anything about America, in what the Lord did in this time period, you gonna know the names Yahweh Shai, man. See, the Lord's gonna once again glorify His name, and it's through terrible acts that He does that, man. Matter of fact, I got a few on. Psalm 9, verse 16. It reads, the Lord is known by the judgment which He executeth. See? So, and that just shows too how Yahweh Shema Shai get down. He speaks it first by the way of the prophets. Then He executed. So then when it him, you ain't got no choice but to acknowledge Yahweh Shema Shai and acknowledge the Lord, man. Because the things that were spoken of, and declared, it took place. And what he's saying is Yahweh Shema Shai that's doing it, man. It says, the Lord is known by the judgment which He executed. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Higion Selassie, and that's going to be the climax of it, because the so-called white man and the work of his hands that he's going to be snared in is those missiles, man. The very same thing that brought him into power. That was going to kill him. You might come across a video, scientists being killed by their own experiment. Well, this is going to play out in its perfection with the so-called white man and his system, his power structure. The very same thing that had this nigga exalted above all these people. They have America as the police of the earth. This superpower who everyone once feared at one point. It was through the missiles, man. Him dropping them things, on them goops, man. As well as these plethora of airstrikes this nigga have done, because he's known as the Eagle. But guess what? He's gonna be snared into that, snared from that, because now he's not the only one with the recipe. The Russians got it. You got North Korea, you got China, and even concerning his allies, they gonna shoot them things over here too as well, man. But at the end of the day, it goes back to Yahweh Shema Shai. This is part of His work, man. That's part of His judgment, man. So, matter of fact, let's get this in Joshua the 9th chapter, Joshua 9, verse 9. It reads, and they said unto him, from a very far country, thy servants are come because of the name of the Lord thy power. See? And this time it's going to be worldwide. It's going to be well known, man. There is Yahweh Shema Shai that visited the so-called white man. We in that time. It says, for we have heard the fame of him in all that he did in Egypt. See, and what did the Lord do in Egypt? He didn't cause Egypt to prosper. The Lord set Egypt up. He had Joseph to go there and had them pretty much set up by him breaking down the dreams. That what pretty much caused Egypt to become a great power. just so the Lord can show out. Because nobody's seeing that place go down and perceive that it had a strong grip on things. Till the Lord stepped in and disrupted this man's rulership concerning those Egyptians. So how much more today, concerning the white man, the proudest of all beasts, the most wickedest of all, the Lord about to show out, man. But that's how the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, got his fame back then. And let's get this in the book of St. John, the 12th chapter, St. John 12. In verse 28, it reads, Father, glorify thy name. Then came there a voice from heaven saying, I have both glorified it and will glorify it again. See? So we know how the Lord glorified it back then by the way of Egypt and those plagues. And guess what? The Lord's going to use the same formula. He's going to smite Egypt once again. And this time, you ain't going to forget who did. Before you can talk about the X, you're going to utter the names Yahweh Shai, man. But that's the climax of that. The icing on the cake when the Lord ultimately destroyed this place. But before that, it's going to be terror, man. Terror. Evils. That's the time that we're in. This is the time where Yahweh Shema Shai is going to pour forth his wrath, man. Just like the time of Noah. See, we once again in those times. Matter of fact, because what our Lord Yahweh Shai said, as in the days of Noah. And when you get the book of Ecclesiastes 44, the days of Noah was a time of wrath. That was a time where the Lord was going to pour forth his judgments, man. And we once again in those times. This is the book of Ecclesiastes 44. Sirach 44, verse 17. It reads, Noah was found perfect and righteous. In the time of wrath, he was taken in exchange for the world, see? So in that time, it said Noah was found perfect and righteous. And that's concerning the elect today. The one that walk with Yahweh Shema Shai. Those are the ones going to be found perfect and righteous in this time. And it's not by the way of you keeping the law. The inner man. But it says in the time of wrath, he was taken in exchange for the world. So the days of Noah was also considered, was also as the time of wrath. Because the Lord didn't get nobody a pat on the back, let them know they were good, doing a good job. Or Noah wasn't passive and said, y'all better get right for the Lord. You know what I mean? He was telling them they were going to die, man. And drowning, that's a horrific way to go. Drowning. So how much more in this time where the ways of death has been broadened to where you can die by any and everything now. That's why we free Yahweh Shema Shai. You're gonna walk into your fate. By the way, of you waking up at a certain time, you woke up late to you, but to Yahweh Shema Shai is right on time, just so you can get T-bone at the light, or whatever the case may be. The roof can crash upon your head. The chemtrails will catch up to you. Some as subtle as the Funyuns used to eat all, they have called the jab. The ways the devil has broadened. So when the Lord tells you it's going to be an overflowing, it's going to be overwhelming what the Lord is going to do in this time, man. There ain't going to be nothing, something. Tells you the Lord going to send those newly created beasts, which by the sight People gonna drop dead just from that. And they're just scratching up, scratching the surface, man. But just going back, the time of Noah was also considered as the time of wrath. And we once again in those times. The Lord is about to pour forth his fury upon this place. Let's get this in the book of Psalms, chapter 145. The book of Psalms. It's like it. Psalm 145. And I start at 4. It reads, one generation shall praise thy works to another, and shall declare thy mighty acts. And you seeing that playing out now. One generation shall praise thy works to another. So you got the men old who the Lord have sent to declare these things to this generation, man. In this time, the Lord got the prophets of old raised up, in this modern time to bring forth those different works of Yahweh Shemel, those different acts of old, and even the acts the Lord is doing and going to do in this time. We talk about the flood. We talk about Sodom and Gomorrah, Egypt, how the Lord, what he have done to the rise and fall of these empires as well. And even up to today, in these times, how the Lord pretty much got the Medes are stirred up now, by the way of these Russians. That's the work of Yahweh Shema Shai, man. That thing. Those are part of the works of Yahweh Shema Shai. Even going to the perfection of the perfect will of the Most High. In this time, this lifetime right here, the destruction of America, man. These things are being declared, and we seeing it now. It's manifesting. It says, I will speak of the glorious honor of thy majesty and of thy wondrous works. See, and just going back to those works, it's not talking about, with it, the Lord, he did create the trees and the beasts. That was part of his blueprints. Of course, that's the works of the Lord, as part of the creation. But concerning the works of the Lord is the scenarios that Yahweh Shema Shai have spoken before it happened. Those are the scenarios. Matter of fact, continue on, because we're going to go into it. It says, and men shall speak of the might of thy terrible acts. See? Acts, those actions, those terrible acts of Yahweh Shema Shai. We speaking upon these things, how the Lord is going to bring forth this family. How the Lord going to put a spirit on Esau to just come down with great wrath, with that perpetual hatred. That's a heavenly hate. Esau is driven by the left hand of Yahweh Shema Shai, man. Like I said, concerning the beasts, the power outages, these are the terrible acts of Yahweh Shema Shai, man. This is the time that we're in. It says, and I will declare thy greatness. See, and this is part of the greatness of the Lord. This is what could make him great, man. He's the power of heavens and earth. And when these things happen, you're going to know the Lord, man. He going to have no choice but to acknowledge that Yahweh Shema Shai. But those terrible acts, that's the time we're in. See, the Lord's about to terrorize these Babylonians, man. In many ways, forms, and fashions. This Psalm 66, verse 3, it says, Say unto the Most High, Yahweh Shema Shai, how terrible art thou in thy works. See? Through the greatness of thy power shall thy enemies submit themselves unto thee. See? So this is how the Lord is going to humble these nations, man, by beating them down with the plagues. I tell you that. I think that's the book of Psalm 85. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find it. It might be 85 or 89, something like that. Bear with me. Just bear with me, Archeon. 89. Yep, Psalm chapter 89, verse. As you get to point, verse 23, it says, "And I will beat down his foes before his face and plague them that hate him." So this is how the Lord is going to humble these nations, man. He's going to beat them down by the way of plagues. That's how the Lord did Egypt. The Lord beat Egypt down. He was hitting certain pressure point. To when the Lord finished with the Egyptians, they wasn't relevant as they was before. They didn't have that status as those Egyptians back then. Man. You know, they wasn't able to bounce back from the blow of Yahweh Shemel. So how much more the so-called white man, the Edomites, to when everything's said and done, this nigga ain't gonna have his land left. You know. But the point is that this is how the Lord is going to humble these nations. He's going to beat them down by the way of plagues. Those are the works of the Lord concerning the scenarios, the judgments, and that's what's going to cause these nations to submit themselves. It says, this back Psalm 66 verse 4, it reads, "All the earth shall worship thee and sing unto thee. They shall sing to thy name, Salah." And really that's concerning the elect, man. You know, it says, "Come and see the works of the Most High." See, going back to those works. So is it going to say, "Come, let's look at the trees. Let's just look at the gorillas." Because they are the works of them, of course. That's part of the creation, but the works are the scenarios the Lord have declared. It says, "Come and see the works of the Most High. He is terrible in his doing toward the children of men." See, so those terrible doings is concerning the plagues the Lord is going to exact upon these people, man. You know? See, they're going to know the Lord one way or another. You're going to believe how about Shemel Shah one way or another, man. The easy way or the hard way, man. Believe it or not, but at the end, you're going to believe. Tell you that it's going to be, they're going to know it through death by pain. You know? So, matter of fact, let's see. Bear with me. Oh, yeah, that's it. Ecclesiastes Sirach 36. And 1, it says, "Have mercy upon us, O Lord, power all, and behold us." See, and that should be our supplication, man, for the Lord to have mercy upon us, man, and behold us, which is to keep, His Spirit upon us, man, for us to continue abiding in His truth, man, because that's the outlet. That's the only way out, man. That's the only way out of this place, America, man. That's the only way we're going to be preserved from these said powers. It says, "And send thy fear upon all the nations that seek not after thee." See? So that's the heathen nations as well as 2/3 of our people, man. Because going back to Psalms, just read in 66, the terrible doings upon the children of men, that's even including 2/3 of our people in this time. Because they're not considered, they are cast off as heathen men right now. Even the ones with fringes, that's not taking this truth serious. That's being permanent Americans, like the brother Quantum Watch say. Being acclimated in this place. You still got the covering of Esau upon you in the mind. You got the uniform of Esau in the mind because the things you're doing is still contributing to the comforts of America. But the point is, the Lord is going to send His fear upon all the nations that seek not after thee. So that's those plagues. Oh, it tells you that the Lord He's going to send these things, concerning the famine, death, and destruction. Pretty much roughly paraphrasing, but they wasn't mindful of the scourges. They didn't consider it was Yahweh Shema Shai, man. So what's going to happen? Those evils going to grow and consume them ultimately, man. Then they going to know. Because ultimately, if they didn't believe the report, they was part of it. Meaning, we talk about the famine, you don't believe it. That means you was part of, you was the one that was meant to actually play the part of the famine. You can't just talk about the famine and no one was affected by it. Somebody actually got to go through it and die from it. Somebody got to actually die by the teeth of the beast. Somebody got to actually play that lot. Someone got to actually play the role of the elect to be preserved. And we hope that we're part of that number, man. That's why we believe, but for the ones that don't, that just means that they were part of the report. They was in it. They was the ones that were going to die by the famine, by the sword, by the teeth of wild beasts. The pestilence. It says, lift up thy hand against the strange nations and let them see thy power. See, and this is what the Lord is going to do in this time. He going to throw the kitchen sink at their place, man. Yahweh Shema Shai going to throw the kitchen sink at this place. And it said the strange nation. Why? Because the strange man is in power right now. The so-called white man, Esau, Edom. Even when you go into the when Daniel breaking down the beast, he said he was diverse. This nigga sticks out on all levels, man. From how his system goes, to his appearance. I said his laws and legislations, his diet, the delicacies. This nigga is strange on all levels, man. But the Lord, He's gonna show Himself strange. That's why we come these judgments are gonna be strange, man. Just like I quoted earlier in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, just the sight of these newly created creatures, people's heart might blow up, man. Gonna burst when they see fucking Pokemon, man. Best way I could put it. You see these creatures, you smell it before it comes, and it just took your cousin. You smell that same smell before your cousin disappeared. Yeah, I mean, that's the time we in where the Lord is finna terrorize this place, man. And He's gonna show Himself strange because this place is strange. You really look at it, not through the lenses of an American, but through the scriptures, man. That Eastern mindset. And this is a crazy goddamn place, man. This is a crazy motherfucking place, man. So this is how the Lord gonna show him. He gonna show Himself crazy too. See, you can get crazy, I can get crazy too, man. You want to pass all these crazy laws, well, it's called crazy judgment for you. That's why ultimately the judgment is going to be completed by those strange rains. It's going to, like in the days of Noah, didn't rain in that time, but that rain in this time is going to be by the way of fire. Those warheads, them laser beams, So this is the book of Psalms, chapter 18, verse 26. It said, with the prayer, thou wilt show thyself pure. See, and that's concerning the elect. That's why the Lord, when he talking to the elect, He come in a certain spirit. That's why I said, speak comfortably to Jerusalem. You read the book of Isaiah, the 40th chapter. Or you read, I believe that's the book of Hosea, says, I will allure her, speak comfortable words unto her. That's how the Lord speak to the elect. Comfortably. It says, and also, it said the Lord's going to show Himself pure concerning His doctrine, man. Unto the pure, all things are pure. You know, so it says, and with the forward, thou will show thyself forward. See, so with the forward, with the cricket, the ones that have gone astray, that's how the Lord's gonna show Himself in a crazy way, in a crazy manner. Like I said, by the way of a Pokemon, but you can read that. I believe that's the book of Wisdom of Solomon 17, or I believe that's 11th chapter, which talks about those strange created creatures, man. You know, where it says they shoot sparks out of their eyes. They got 50 cents. You know, they got a strange appearance, man. All of those things are really reserved for here in America. You can also read in the book of Sirach 39. It says those beasts, those spirits created for vengeance, are in the cut, waiting on the commandment of the Lord, man. You know? And they said they're not going to transgress His word, man. So the Lord is going to accomplish whereto He sent them. Many of those death threats are going to be carried out, man. Not like you going, the angel came back and said, Lord, I couldn't finish it all. No, man. That's why ultimately read in the book of Revelation, the angel poured out his 7 vials. Said, it is done. It is accomplished. The complete destruction of America. Well, we in the process of America being destroyed, being destruction. The icing on the cake is those missiles, though, man. You know. So let's go back to the book of Ecclesiastes, Sirach, chapter 36, and verse 3 again. It says, "Lift up thy hand against the strange nations, and let them see thy power." See, so ultimately you're gonna know it, man. The Lord gonna show Himself, believe it or not. But at the end of the day, you ain't gonna have no choice but to believe. You won't have no choice but to acknowledge Yahweh Shemel. It's gonna depend on what side of the sword you on. You know, you're gonna see the power of Yahweh Shemel. Let's say whether in the form of these newly created creatures judging or being preserved, man. We're gonna see the power of the Lord, but for the ones that don't seek the Lord, they're gonna find out the hard way. They're gonna be terrorized. You know, it says, as thou was sanctified in us before them, so be thou magnified among them before us. See, so the Lord has sanctified us by the way of this word, by the way of this truth. Read in John, the book of St. John, the 17th chapter. You know, we have made ourselves separate from these people by the way of this truth, man. You know, but it said, so be thou magnified among them before us. So it's going back. Like I said, you know, we believe the report, and the ones that didn't believe, they was in the report. So that's how the Lord's gonna magnify Himself among these among them before us. It's by the way of when the famine actually hit and they suffering from it, and we seeing it, we witnessing the famine. But we're gonna be in the midst of these things. Tells you that the Lord's gonna pretty much in the midst of this famine, the Lord's gonna feed us. Our servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Or you read the book of Joel, the 5th chapter, and 6 evil shall thou be delivered. 7 shall no evil touch thee. We shall be delivered by the sword, and we shall be delivered from the sword and famine. Roughly paraphrasing, you know. So we're gonna be in the midst of these things, but the Lord gonna show Himself, magnify Himself by the way of these people suffering from these things that we've been prophesying about, man. You know, it says, and let them know thee as we have known thee, that there is no power but only thou, O Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So they're going to know about Yahweh Hashem Yahushua the hard way, man. You see, you're going to find out why He's known as the King of Terrors, man. By that scenario, the Lord have already drawn, you know, that destiny the Lord have already appointed. You know, and just going back, that's why we have been reduced to hope. That's the only thing we can do is just hope that the Lord have mercy upon us, because these things are sure. Tells you got a sure word of prophecy. The testimony of the Lord is sure. You know? So all man we can do is just hope that the Lord have mercy upon us, man. But just going back, just I can just wrap it up with this because at the end of the day, um, matter of fact, let's just get it real quick. In the book of 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 9, for the Most High have not appointed us to wrath. See? So that in itself, that's a cold line right there. The Lord is the one that gives out the Salaki. It said the Lord is the one that gives the issues of death out, man. He's the one that sanctions death, sanctions the ones who's going to live, man. Especially in this time right here where death is going to be at its height. Read the book of Habakkuk, the third chapter. I've heard that speech and was afraid. That should be your reaction when you hear this doctrine. And the only conclusion Habakkuk came to was, in wrath, remember mercy. When he heard that speech, when you heard the doctrine of the Lord, this warning, the teachings, his reaction was to ask the Lord, in wrath, remember mercy, because that's the time we're in, man. The time of wrath. A time of terror. But with the balance of Yahweh Shema said, it shows that mercy has to be involved as well. And that's why we hope that we are part of that number, man. But we just read, it says, for the Most High have not appointed us to wrath. See? So some people are appointed to wrath. Some people are appointed to be terrorized in this time. And we're in the beginning stages of it. Motherfuckers being their head against the wall now, man. Just sort of things. And the power's still on. Shit ain't happened yet. The water, you can still turn your faucet and water come out. Your apps and shit still working. Shit ain't really happening yet, man. But when it do, these people gonna lose it, man. These people gonna fall apart. And they ain't got no foundation. See, that storm is gonna beat that house down and it's gonna fall. Why? Because they weren't built upon Yahweh Shai. It says, for the Most High have not appointed us to wrath, but to obtain salvation by our Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach. See? So that's what we hoping, to obtain salvation. And it starts by the way of this word, man. And it's set to comfort us and, get us prepared for the time to conquer. We in that time, man. It's only going to increase. But the point is, we in a time of terror. Oh, matter of fact, Salakia. Let me just get one more precept I can. That's what I want. We'll wrap it up with this. Because it's a appointed time where the terror is going to come down. There's an appointed time where the terror is going to actually come down. And this is that time. Ecclesiastes 9, verse 12. For man also knoweth not his time. See? And that's because you can bring it as individuals. Because it ain't like you woke up that morning, you were like, this is the day you finna die. You getting all ready and shit to die. To fall into the, whether you die by a car accident, a freak, accident or some shit, some failed, and it's a series of events. Now a light pole swung and chopped your head off. Whatever the case may be, no, it's not. It's because it's the Lord judge you on a sudden, right? But also, this is not just concerning individuals, but even empires, rulerships. Everyone that was in power wasn't thinking about when they're gonna fall, or the day they did fall, the day that the power was transferred. They didn't wake up that morning and said, "This today we signed the, we giving up the power seat." No, man. It was on a sudden. Just going back to Egypt. They wasn't looking forward to going down. They weren't even thinking about that. They thought it was on lock. Till those plays beat them down, and They really was irrelevant after that, man. They didn't have that power as they once. They didn't have the influence as they once had. So how much more the so-called white man? This nigga got. This is a proud nigga, man. The year 2100. He already got that in the calendar. This nigga got football schedules to that time, basketball schedules and shit, hotel rooms and shit, booked and shit, all from that time, man. So that just showed that this profession of that scripture, because the Lord is gonna play out His profession in this time, man. Because it has triggered down to just the average American. Nigga got 10-year plans, 20, 30-year plans. Nigga putting his kids, he putting them on America. The different shortcuts and shit you can, you know what I mean? Because then what it tells you on there, they think that house shall continue forever, man. The Lord's finna cut, or the Lord's gonna cut this man years short. So it said, for man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare. And yeah, and that's how these people are, man. They just going by their day. Cause the bird and the fish, they have predators, but they're not on their toes, such as a deer. See, a deer is always listening and sniffing shit out, looking for the predator, being circumspect. A fish and a bird is not circumspect, man. And they just take it. They subtly take it, man. It says, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time. And this is that evil time, a time where evils would just be the only thing. You know what I mean? We read it in the book of Ezekiel. Evil and only evil is coming. That's the only thing we can tell you, man. That's the only thing that's coming is evil and only evils. And it just shows it's an appointed time where those evils going to take place. This is that time. You got guns and shit on the scene now. Mechanical dogs. Just going back to these people concerning these apps and shit, different food apps. Oh, the food itself, the chemicals make you hungry and shit, depending on what you eat. That's the snare of Yahweh Hashem outside, man. Because the Lord finna pull the rug from all these people, man. It says, so are the sons of men snared in the evil time when it follows suddenly upon them. See? That's when they're going to be taken. That's when they're going to know. That's when they're going to know about Yahweh Hashem outside. When they're suddenly taken, let's say your life flashes before your eyes, you might see a video that you commented under and scoff under, then you die. Or you might get a flashback. You might hear the brother say, in the famine, and you took your last breath while your stomach was touching your back. And you remember, man. But it's going to be on a sudden when the Lord do these things. Suddenly the storehouses shall be found empty. Suddenly martial law is going to be declared. Suddenly the money going to crash. Suddenly those alarms going to be ringing. And when you look at those missiles are there, man. But we are in a time of terror, and it's going to only increase, man. So yeah, I might just hold to edifying, like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Hakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect that teach the word in all true faith and sincerity. BTA, Bible, soon, very soon, tonight.